Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not a videographer. I don't do YouTube very much. So this is going to be kind of choppy and slightly unprofessional. I apologize for that, but I guarantee you're going to love what I have to say, much more so than the way I'm saying it. I spent 22 years in the Navy. I retired. Then I joined the police department, spent 20 years as a police officer and retired. And as a form of relaxation after all that service work that I did, I decided to take up woodworking. One thing I discovered early on is that woodworking can get pretty nasty when it comes to gluing. We all have experienced that before. Glue gets all over our clamps, it gets all over our clothes, it gets all over everything. Over the years, I tried to figure out how to get the glue off of those objects, especially off the clamps. I couldn't figure it out. I tried everything. I went to YouTube videos, I asked them. I had answers, oh, you can you can use scrapers. Somebody said, use one of these deals here. No, I tried that. Almost took my thumb off. They said, oh, then get maybe a brush. I tried that. Didn't do anything. I tried all kinds of YouTube goos and stuff that they would suggest that you soak it in this. Or I tried heat guns. I tried it all. And then one day I was doing some gluing up, and I was gluing a cutting board, and I was doing it on the floor in here. And I made a mess. I made a mess on the clamps. I made a mess on the floor. And after I moved everything out of the way, I discovered the glue was all over the floor. And I said, I'll come back and clean it later. Maybe I'll wait till it dries or something. But I also had a gallon of white vinegar over here. And I was using the white vinegar on, it was a dog brush that we had. We were soaking the dog brush in it to try and clean it up from fleas and all. And I spilled some of the vinegar and didn't realize that it had run down onto the area where I had the glue. Never paid that close attention to it. 2 or 3 days later, I come back thinking that the dog had urinated over here. I came back to wipe it up, and as I did, I discovered that it was right over the top of some of that glue, and all the glue came up like butter. And I went, oh my God, I figured it out. Okay, so here's what I did. I figured now we got to get white vinegar on these clamps. Now, how do you do it? Do you soak the rags in it? Do you do that? No. I figured out an easier way. I went to my local store that sold plastic, and I bought a 7-foot piece of this 2-inch tubing plastic. I already had a piece of fiberglass. I cut the fiberglass out, and along with that, I bought a $6 tube of it's like a resin of some sorts, and what it does is it holds all of this fiberglass, all this plastic together. And I put I'm calling this fiberglass, I mean it's plexiglass, and I put the glue around the base of it, glued it on. Next day I came back, it was on tight. I said, now I made a short one, and I made a tall one. Now here's the tall one, and I did it so that I could put a clamp inside of it. And I did. Now I'm going to take this clamp out for the first time. It's been in here. Let me move it in the sun so you can see it a little bit better. It's been in here for a day and a half. And as you can see, it's fermenting up around the top. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't spill over. It looks pretty nasty, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, mind you, I had people on YouTube telling me, just start scraping, sit down with a bottle of beer, watch television, scrape a little here, scrape a little there. Doesn't work. I decided to try it this way. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, so bear with me. As you can see already, this is incredible. This is the first time I'm removing this. Let me put it down over here. Now, as you can see, this is like brand new. I'm going to wipe it. All of the glue that was on this thing, it was incredibly encrusted up with glue. I wipe it. And that's it. This will all come off close to the top. As you can see, it just comes right off. I can just wipe it off, and it cleans up. You don't have to scrape. You don't have to do anything. Turn it over, wipe the other side. All of the glue is gone. This is like brand new. All of the notches, these little tiny notches, I don't know if you can see them or not, they're all clear of glue. Not one tiny drop. Did I have to work on this? Well, this part here, again, the vinegar didn't make it all the way up to the top most of the time. So it just needs to sit, that part needs to be sat down inside the vinegar for just about another 20 minutes or so, and it would soften up. Okay, so now here's my point. I said, what about these quick grip clamps that had rust on them? I figured, let me try those. So I used a smaller one, and I put the ends of these, well, this one I actually put in a tall one, and as you can see, the rust came off. This was about 6 or 7 hours. The rust came off right up to the edge, and that's, I mean, I didn't have to scrape or sand or do anything. It comes off, and you just wipe it with a rag. When I say it takes about a minute to clean these clamps up, that's exactly what it takes. Once you dip them down in there, you leave them overnight, it takes you approximately 1 whole minute to wipe them down, and you got one clean clamp, and you just move on from there. Now, the head of the clamp up around this area here, it still is considerably rusty. So what I tried, and I just did it today for the first time, I took it and I just put a little bit of vinegar in this bucket here, and I wanted to dip it down inside. Okay, there you have it. It's clear, it's clean. Now this is black plastic, and the vinegar didn't do anything to it, but what it did was it removed the rust, if you can see that, from this clamp right there near the edge. So you can get it clean all the way up to the end. Absolutely incredible. Does it save time? Oh, you bet it does. You can go inside, you can enjoy your beer, you can enjoy a few beers, you don't even have to worry about these. You come back out the very next day and it's done, and it's clean. Now here's an example. Here's another one. This was one that, this was my least grimy clamp, and I'm gonna put this one in there as well, but I'm not going to show this one because I got to get this all cleaned up so I can start on this next project. But I just want you to see what my clamps were looking like. And mind you, when I tell you, this was the least of the destroyed clamps with the glue. The worst was this one. And this one, as you can see, it came out almost like brand new. They all come out that way. Now, for some odd reason, the metal, sometimes, depending on if I leave it in there a little longer than one longer than the other one, the metal will change color a little bit. But this, even though it may look like it's got glue or something on it, this is as smooth as a baby's butt. It's just absolutely like brand new. And every little nick, every little notch in there that's needed for the clamp is clean. It's all clean. And you know how important that is. You cannot scrape these up. You can't put a scraper on this thing because you'll destroy it. So the glue will take that off. You don't even have to rub it. You just wipe the rag on it one time, and all of that comes off after you pull it out. And that was only in there for a day and a half. I wouldn't leave it in there any longer than that. I don't need to. I think a couple of these I've only left in there for about 6 hours, and it took the glue off. And mind you, like I said, this one was the worst. It had about 3 times as much glue as this one because I was using that quite a bit. And you know what happens when you're gluing something up and you're trying real quick at the last minute. You got to get these clamps going before the stuff starts getting too tacky, and you can't even find a way to get this head to slide down to where you need it in the measured spot because the glue is jamming up. And see, you can't, there's no way to get this off. Like I said, I tried using these scrapers, and that resulted from, if you can see that, from one of the scrapes. No bueno. So I would tell you all, this truly, truly works. It works for the rust. And then I want to show you one more thing. This is incredible. You want to know where all the glue went? Look at this. That is the glue down in the bottom. That's from about 4 or 5 clamps. It falls down to the bottom. It just sits there. It just sits there. You don't have to do anything to it. And this one here, I will fill this back up again, and I'll put more of these rusted clamps in it, and it absolutely positively works. It positively works. I promise you, everything that you see here, there is not one drop of glue in between here. What looks like glue on there, I promise you that is nothing but a discolored metal. There's not one ounce of glue on there. So all of these product placement ads telling you can try this and scrape that, and then after you put it on, scrape a little more. Forget about it. You don't have to do it. I promise you, you don't have to do it. Just dip this down and you'll be in business. That's all you need. Anyway, if you have any issues at all, any concerns about it, email me, drop me a line, say, make a comment, whatever it is that you guys normally do on these YouTube videos, and I'll be more than happy to get right back to you. Like I said, I'm retired, so I got lots of free time. Good luck, guys.